not drinking beer. I'm drinking water.
2 touchdowns a game?
Yes, in the game.
You're tripping.
How high? No, high expectations.
I don't know what we're doing in the front office, man.
Twiddling our fucking dick.
Ryan, I just need you to drink this.
Wide receiver trivia. That's what she said.
Her.
What the fuck?
Her upset.
Are those crutches?
You can see Ryan's crutches.
And I am your other co-host, Malin Dennis. Like I said, man, I think he's hooked up to a defibrillator after them Texas Longhorns gave him a scare. If Texas had lost to Arizona State, he never would have heard the end of it. I mean, would have brought it up 20 years from now. Yeah, I realized that I was giving you guys crap, and yet I hadn't even poured mine yet. So here we go. Okay, here we go. We're ready. We're ready. Oh, now it reminds me, Jalen. You remember those shots I used to pour at the studio, where I would get them to bubble on top on purpose? Oh, that was amazing. Okay. Daniels. I was like, what happened? First off, it's a little weird not having June right now because I'm used to having him here to kind of buffer my thoughts a little bit here. Should it be optimistic? I mean, in my opinion, and I know this differs from a lot of other people's, if you get in, you have a chance. Might be a small chance, but it's a better chance than anybody that's not in the dance. And so I think whenever you get in, you should feel optimistic about, hey, you know what, we got a shot. I still think that this team is a little further away from being like a legitimate Super Bowl contender. I think they're relying a little bit too much on Daniels. I'd love for them to have a little bit of a better running game. Daniels has been the leading rusher way too many times this year. They don't need to RG3 his ass like they did back in 2012, where he doesn't need to be the entire offense. But he looks great. He looks like the type of kid that you could build your franchise around for 10 to 12 years. Defense does this. Let's break. No, let's tape it back together. Let's bend a little bit. Let's break. No, let's bend a little bit. Like it's very inconsistent on defense, right? But I mean, anytime you win 11 games, you have a shot at 12, man. You should feel optimistic about your chances, especially with Lions being depleted. San Francisco's not in it. We just saw what the Packers look like against Minnesota, and are we still believing this is the real Sam Darnold? Are we still like, do we have enough proof yet? Because I don't. I still feel like at some point it'll turn into a pumpkin. I just don't know when. So if I'm Washington, I'm looking at the landscape. You already beat the Eagles, so yeah, I'd feel optimistic. I'm muting myself. Sorry. I'm getting reports that we don't have any volume on. We don't have any volume on YouTube. What I'm hearing at all. None. That's just me. While you look at that, anybody else think Brian Robinson needs to be shot again? I think he plays better when he comes back from being shot. Nobody? It's just me? Okay. I mean, I don't know. I think gunshots could do it. Another interesting thing about the Rams though is that they scored 44 points against the Bills 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago, and they've scored 44 points total their last 3 weeks. And Matthew Stafford is yet to throw a touchdown in the last 3 weeks. So that Rams offense that looks so great against the Bills hasn't really been there, and they haven't been playing great teams either. So the Rams are very, very up and down. Very up and down.
There we go. All right, everybody should. People at home could hear you, Malin. They just couldn't hear us for the past 10 minutes, 12 minutes.
Oh, nice. Well, thanks for making me carry this show.
To sum things up, Nestor and I feel optimistic about the Commanders making the playoffs. Anyway, Jesus, 220 episodes. Let's get into the next topic here. All right, the Packers and the Vikings. This one ended 27-25. This didn't feel as close as the score indicates. The Vikings held control of this for the most part. But my question to you guys is: are the Vikings going to come out of the NFC? They're hot right now. They are a very hot football team, and Sam Darnold. Some people are saying MVP candidate. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying some people are saying. Malin, let's start with you.
I like disclaimer there. I'm not saying it. Other people are. I feel like if we're not saying that the Vikings have a better shot than not of actually getting to the Super Bowl, I feel like it comes down to the fact that we have like a Sam Darnold bias at this point. And you know what I mean? We're like, well, the Lions got Goff, which imagine saying that 3 years ago and being that one of the reasons why a team would go to a Super Bowl. That team has Goff. Yeah. The Rams have Stafford, everyone loves Jordan Love with Green Bay Packers. This looks like a really well put together team. I don't understand how they can keep winning when they don't run the ball very effectively. But their defense seems to be pretty good until they go into, that prevent defense in the fourth quarter, let Green Bay get back into it. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm still rolling with Detroit until Detroit loses. Every time somebody gets hurt, Dan Campbell's like, we're going to drop 40 points on you. And I know that it's unrealistic to think that they can put up 40 points every single game, but at the same time, with the way this team has been playing the last 3 weeks, like, why can't they? What defense really scares you, especially in the NFC? What defense scares you? It's not really a defense that necessarily scares me that much. So I think the Lions could hang with anybody in the NFC. It would worry me if when the Lions get to the Super Bowl and they put up points on some of these defenses in the AFC. But against the NFC, I still got to roll with the Lions. They give me a reason not to, and this is going to be a crazy game Sunday night for all the marbles, division and number 1 seed. That's pretty wild. That's pretty crazy. I don't think we've ever seen this on last week of the season, last game of the season. The number 1 seed is still up for grabs, and those teams are playing each other and the division title.
Go ahead, Nestor.
I struggle a lot with this because seeing the game against the Packers, it just seems like the Vikings are very well damn coached. like they know what they're doing, and they're very. What's his name? Is it Flores? Brian Flores? You could see the moment where he knows his strategies are working, and he's like excited like a kid. He's like, "Yeah, that was me. It worked," and it just happened all season. And then they kind of, put their foot off the gas a little bit defensively, in the end there. But still, they're so damn well coached. And that's going to be very difficult to play against. I thought by now, Sam Darnold was just going to be Sam Darnold, like, that we know. And something was going to fall apart. How is Aaron Jones still healthy? How is this team playing so damn well?
Right.
And they made the Packers look like frauds. I looked at the Packers and I was like, what is this team? Yeah. Why is this team even in the playoff picture? But I struggle betting against them now. After I did, with Green Bay, now I struggle to think that maybe... I think they have a shot against Detroit. On a bad day, they could very well have a shot just because of how well coached they are, and all the pieces are moving well.
I feel that. Go ahead, Malin.
The thing that this is what I can't wrap my mind around with the Vikings is just because I'm a Seattle Seahawks fan. Okay, so the Seahawks played the Packers and the Vikings back to back, and we lost to both of them. One beat the brakes off of us, and the other one we barely lost to.
Yeah.
And if I were to say that, you would have thought, oh, you're talking about Minnesota beating the brakes off. That was the Packers beating the brakes off of us. That defense could be had by my Seattle Seahawks offense when it comes to Minnesota. We had nothing to figure out. Like, there's nothing we could do against Green Bay's defense. I don't know why. But we could score points on Minnesota. And it was strange how that I was anticipating a closer game against Green Bay and getting the brakes beat off of us by Minnesota, but it didn't work that way. And then those two teams play, and it's like, okay, well, how the hell is Minnesota like dominating the Packers? Like I don't know. The whole NFC North in and of itself is just this weird enigma of three teams. Because of the injuries to the Lions, who is really the better one at this point? And meanwhile, the Eagles and the Rams are just looking off in the distance like, all right, guys, you guys want to slug it out? We'll be here.
Yeah. I don't think that the Vikings are going to come out of the NFC just because, like Malin, you mentioned it, it's like, do we buy into Sam Darnold that much? And that's my biggest, hang up with them. It's just like, do you really believe a Sam Darnold-led team is going to go to a Super Bowl? It's like, I don't. Even though the numbers right now would indicate that he could.
Yes.
I just can't see that. And when you know that they're going to have to go through a Detroit team that always has their foot on the gas. Like, they've got a fucking lead shoe on their gas at all times. It's like, I don't know if Kevin O'Connell and Brian Flores are going to be able to match that same pace with Sam Darnold being the quarterback.
Right. I think Campbell's effing nuts, man.
He's out of his mind.
He was a tight end. I think he has CTE because he went full bore in a game that doesn't mean anything just to beat the Niners a week before a win-all-take-all game. I'm like, God forbid if Gibbs would have gotten hurt or something like that. Like, Jesus.
Yeah.
So, but like you said, man, you lead foot my ass, man. They just dipped that shit in steel and just said, put it on the gas pedal, man. Rip the brake off and just hit the gas.
My thing with the Packers is that we've mentioned this before in the past, but Jordan Love still doesn't seem to have that go-to receiver, and it seems to hurt them in a lot of different instances. This game, he spreads the ball around, which is great. I think you would like that from a quarterback. It's not like he gets so hell-bent on just trying to feed one person. But with that being said, it's like when they really need a big play, really need a first down, he doesn't seem to have that one guy to go to. Because if you look at the receiving stats, nobody really had a big game. And I think that hurt them in a lot of key moments.
I think the Packers are going to go as far as Josh Jacobs can take them. Because in the games where they've looked really good this year, that man's got me like 23 to 25 fantasy points. Like every single time. And at one point, it got me like 20 points plus in fantasy 5 weeks in a row. They didn't use him that much in the first half of the year, but they started in the second half a lot more. And he's been really dependable for him. But I don't think correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think he had a great game against the Vikings. And that run game is going to have to be there for Green Bay because that opens up a Jordan Love passing game where he doesn't have that number one target to rely on all the time, and he's going to throw to the open person. So he needs those safeties, and he needs the linebackers up to the line of scrimmage for him to have more clear throwing lanes. So we'll see. I mean, I still think that the Eagles are. I mean, I know Jalen Hurts has a concussion right now, but he'll be back for the playoffs, and at least I hope he will. Jesus, I just feel like they're healthier and a more complete team. Like, if you were going to ask me, hey, is there a team that could go to the Super Bowl besides the Lions because they're so injury depleted? I would probably lean more towards the Eagles than I would the Vikings. But again, that's bias on Sam Darnold and knowing what he's been for all of his career and knowing the fact that, well, Jalen Hurts has been there. A.J. Brown is a beast. I know, Jefferson's a beast too, but Saquon Barkley, 2,000 yards. Like, the Eagles just seem like the better fit. But, who are we? We're
going to get a rematch.
Sitting here talking about sports and other people are playing. Oh, God, I don't want that rematch.
The Swift rematch.
One thing I will say, props to the NFL, because I don't know if they would have predicted this, but the fact that the last game of the regular season is with all the marbles on the line between two of the best teams in the NFL right now is like, you couldn't ask for better drama.
I mean, they had a 50-50 shot when it came to divisions because they started this about, 6 years ago, where there's always a division game. Everyone's playing in the division game.
Yeah.
And so if you got, the two best teams in that one division just happen to be the two best in the NFC. So that was a good job on them. Congratulations.
Right. And apparently the Christmas
they did it better.
Did really
They did it. They did it better than the NCAA playoff committee.
I'll say. All right, let's get to the last game on the recap here, which was the Bengals and the Broncos. Final score was 30-24 in overtime, with the Bengals winning. I think this was the Saturday game, if I remember correctly. But days of the week are all over the place right now. But Bengals keeping their playoff hopes alive, where they have needed to win out the rest of their schedule, and so far so good. This one came down to the wire. This is a great game. So my question to you guys: will the Bengals, with this kind of completely offshoot chance, will they make the playoffs? We'll start with you, Malin.
No, they won't. I think they could beat Pittsburgh. But the problem is that Denver would have to lose to Kansas City, and they're not starting Mahomes. Who is starting for them? I forget. Dang it. I forget who's starting.
Yeah, I forget his name.
Who is it? Carson Wentz. Yeah. Okay. Carson Wentz starting for Kansas City. So, and you know what? That's a smart move for Kansas City. Because first of all, they should be trying to lose this game. Because if Denver wins, Denver goes into playoffs. Does Kansas City really want to face Joe Burrow in the playoffs? Does anybody want to face Joe Burrow in the playoffs right now? And even if Denver shits the bed. Next team up is the Miami Dolphins. And the Miami Dolphins would have to lose to the New York Jets. So, yes, the Bengals could win on Saturday, but they still need the Broncos to lose to Carson Wentz, and they need the Dolphins to lose to Tyrod Taylor, because once they're up 30-0, they're probably going to put Tyrod Taylor in because Aaron Rodgers isn't going to want to finish that game either. It's like he took himself out of the other one. I just don't see both of those teams lose. I don't. And they're playing Pittsburgh, the toughest. They have the toughest matchup.
Yes.
So Pittsburgh is still playing for the division right now. Even though it's unlikely that Baltimore loses to Cleveland, they're still playing for the division. And they play on Saturday. It's a Saturday game where nothing else is going to be decided. I think it's just a little too late.
Go ahead, Nestor.
Yeah, why let the team in that's a little bit kind of like your kryptonite? One of the few teams that could probably stop you, and you have to resort to the refs. I mean, to playing really good last minute in order to win. There's no reason for that at all, and I could easily see the Chiefs just tanking. I don't want to say it, but yeah. So the Broncos, I don't see a picture where Miami loses to the Jets, and then the Chiefs win, and then you got the Bengals winning. It would be fun. It would be. It'd be really cool to see the Bengals in the playoffs and seeing what they could do. I just rather my Dolphins get in there first. Just to do absolutely nothing the first round. But I would love to see my Dolphins get into the playoffs. It's better than not having them in the playoffs.
I feel that. Yeah. I think there is nothing that the NFL would love more than the Broncos to lose, the Dolphins to lose, and Joe Burrow and the Bengals to sneak on in.
Yes.
Oh, man.
100%.
What a game we would get.
To make things more interesting.
That would be... Because the Bengals are the one team out right now that everyone thought would be in that's not in.
Yeah.
Because everyone pretty much pegged Buffalo. Everyone pegged Baltimore. I guess you could swap Miami and Pittsburgh because I didn't really see Pittsburgh. But I thought Miami would make it. But you got Baltimore there, and you got Houston, and you got Kansas City. And I think everyone pretty much figured that the Chargers would make the playoffs with Harbaugh. So, like, the Bengals are, like, the one team that you're like, hey, Burrow, all that. They're the only ones that regularly beat these other good quarterbacks in the playoffs. You kind of want them there. But I think the Chiefs are smart. They'll probably rest everybody.
Yeah.
They'll put the water boy in there.
Right. I was surprised with how well the Chargers played this first season with Jim Harbaugh there. I didn't think they were going to be a playoff team year one. With that being said, though, I just expected the Bengals to be better and to be a playoff team.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's just too much to ask for. When you get into these situations, when you need other teams to lose, it's like, good luck. If you were just depending on one team to lose, like if they just needed Miami to lose, I could see that. It's like, all right, I'd like your chances, but I don't know. I just don't see a world where Denver loses to a Chiefs team without a lot of the starters playing. And Denver's they're not a fraudulent team. Like, they are a pretty legit playoff worthy
decent
team. And then Miami, I can't see them losing to New York. They should win that game. So it does seem too little too late from the Bengals. Hey, shouldn't have lost to my Patriots week one. I pin it on that. That was an embarrassing loss that's haunting them right now.
I think the only thing that's more sinister than the Chiefs sitting a bunch of people so that the Broncos can possibly win to keep Burrow out is what the Eagles are doing right now, where they play the Giants this weekend. And they're going to sit a bunch of people, including Saquon Barkley, so he's not going to get to go for the rushing title. Which, to be honest, 17 weeks versus 16 weeks. I mean,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I know that Dickerson got it in 16 when it used to be 15. But he only needed 101 yards. But I think the craziest thing is that not only do the Eagles have an opportunity to rest themselves, to get it going into the playoffs, their seeding can't change. If the Giants win, they go even further down the draft board to possibly like number 7. And everybody knows that they want a quarterback.
Yeah.
And so they're like, you know what? This could be a double win for us. We could rest players, and the Giants could lose draft stock. They might not be able to get their quarterback. I think it's kind of funny that Shedeur Sanders wore Giants cleats to his bowl game over the weekend, and they got their ass stomped once he put them Giants cleats on. That was kind of interesting. And you know another crazy thing that I heard floated, Jalen? Somebody needs to drug test Nick Wright. Have you guys heard what Nick Wright's new thing is that he said? Have you heard about this?
What's that?
Okay, so it has to go with if the Patriots keep the number 1 pick.
Mm.
Okay?
Here we go.
This is his idea. New England Patriots draft Shedeur Sanders.
All right.
Then trade May for a top 5 pick in the draft. Come back and pick up Travis Hunter. Sell the field to get Travis Hunter. And then fire Mayo and hire Deion Sanders. Is that not the craziest? This man gets paid money to come up with this shit. I was listening to it, and I was like, that's the craziest goddamn thing I've ever heard of in my life. But also, I'm like, that'd be kind of cool. That'd be kind of neat.
That made Aaron Rodgers look completely not drugged.
No, not at all.
But I mean, if you win from the worst team in the league this year to next year, you got Shedeur Sanders, Travis Hunter, and Deion Sanders as your coach. Not to mention you still got Polk at wide receiver. I think Patriot fans would be like, okay, different, not Belichick, different,
Right.
but cool.
I think you guys would be cooked. But well,
We
go ahead.
we still got
Do it.
we still got to drug test Nick Wright though. We
Do
still
it.
got to drug test Nick Wright.
Yeah. I feel like
Because
Nick
I don't know
is
how he
too-
thinks this shit up.
His Chiefs are so like comfortable now that he needs to start coming up with other shit now to talk about.
Yeah, he has too much time on his hands because there's no way that anybody else is going to connect those dots, even being a possibility. And he did it within 24 hours. He did it within 24 hours. He had that idea floated. I was like, good God, man.
FS1's finest right now. Since we've got a little bit extra time, I did want to touch on the Buffalo and New York game where they won like 40-10 or something like that was the final score. Aaron Rodgers benching himself. This was not a coach's decision. He took himself out the game and said, let's put Tyrod in. What the hell? Because so who was it that did this earlier in the year? Anthony Richardson. He was like tired. He took himself out the game.
Himself out.
And a lot of people gave him shit.
Oh.
It's a new generation, man.
Everyone gave Cam Ward shit with Miami
Yep.
for playing half the game, getting the record, then sitting out the second half. They're like, nah, I'm good. We can lose by 1 point or whatever. I guess that's worse than what Aaron Rodgers did. But Aaron Rodgers, good God, man. Anybody still remember that image of Aaron Rodgers running out of the tunnel, not this year, but last year with the American flag?
Week 1.
Remember how hopeful that
Yes.
Jets fans were? And then he
Right.
tore his Achilles heel, and then it's been downhill since then. I think someone likened it to, getting Aaron Rodgers when he's 40 is going to be like dating Kim Kardashian when she's 50. It's like, how aged does the roast beef need to get? So, yeah, it's just
I
Just
would
where-
date
just where we're at.
for a week. So do with that information as you will, Jets.
However that translates. I just never thought
Yeah.
they would be worse than they were last year. That was never on my radar.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And you think if you would have
Crazy.
told me they're gonna trade for Devontae Adams in the middle of the year,
Oh.
like what?
And this
And
man just
still be
now-
that bad?
He went to this team and he still lost to this fucking same teams. The same teams. he
Yeah.
lost
Two
to.
2 weeks in a row.
Oh my god,
It's weird.
that's horrible.
Do you guys think he'll be back on the Jets next year?
I hope so. I think it's great theater. Because I don't want him to go. I don't know. I mean, where else is he going to go? I don't think he's going to retire.
The
Right.
reveal.
Wouldn't it
of
be
the
funny if he went?
podcast.
Wouldn't it be funny if he went to the Browns or something? That'd be great if he went to the. No, you know, the moment he retires, he's going to be like a permanent co-host on the Pat McAfee show.
Yes.
Like he's going to be there.
He's there
With
when he
AJ Hawk
plays.
and
Why would
Pat.
he not be there?
Yeah,
when
he's there all
Right.
the time. He's going to be a fixture, man. It is. He'll be
Yeah.
in some goddamn hut in Peru, just be like, yeah, let's talk some football for a few minutes.
He won't be in studio, but he will be wherever in the world, week to week.
He'll be in Bogota,
I
Colombia,
just-
on BBC, and then talk.
Like I knew he like grew up in California. I thought, but to spend as much time as he did in Wisconsin and to end up the way that he did—that's fucking wild.
Yeah,
That's a weird
That is-
choice.
That's crazy.
he's a strange dude. And I'm here for all the Aaron Rodgers, Ryan Clark beef. But
He
at
is
the same time.
such the anti.
God.
He's such a contrast to Tom Brady. Tom
Yeah,
Brady's just,
yeah.
let me shut up and put
Oh.
in work. And this man's watching the sunset after he got divorced. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to talk some football now, be a commentator. And he's doing pretty good. He's getting better.
Like, and we keep sliding the bar on Aaron Rodgers. Like,
Mhm.
oh, he has potential to be the best quarterback we've ever seen in the game after 2010. Oh, he's the most talented. Oh, he's the best passer. Oh, he has the best touch. He has the best arm of. I'm like the best mind. Like, what is? How far do we gotta slide this down? He's won some MVPs, which I guess whatever. I don't think he deserved all of them. I sometimes I get a little bit weirded out when I look at some of the Aaron Rodgers MVPs because I think that someone like a Peyton Manning or a Tom Brady should have more MVPs than they did. I think Ben Roethlisberger probably deserved a couple, but for some reason, the voters never got Aaron Rodgers bias or fatigue is what I'm talking about. They never got Aaron Rodgers fatigue when it came to MVP. Like you see it in the NBA all the time. You see it in baseball too. You've seen it in the NFL, but for some reason, he could just have like a normal year for him, and they're like MVP, bitch.
Yeah.
But you know, like other people have to like break records to get MVPs. For Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, so it's weird. Whatever.
Yeah, I agree, 100%. All right, let's go to a break. We've got some college football stuff to talk about on the other side of the break. And then, of course, the Ride or Die in 5 for the last week of the NFL regular season. So, giving you 5 games to bet on this weekend. And we will, of course, have the one and only G Money on the other side, as far as I know, because he's not a Texas fan. So, he'll probably be here. And, yeah, sit tight for about 10 minutes, and we will be right back.
Thank you.
So some people decided to get some hate on my take. CeeDee Lamb, not top 5 wide receiver in the NFL. Your boy currently 32nd in the league in receptions, number 10 in yards, 35th in touchdown. That doesn't sound elite. There's 32 teams in the NFL, and this man is below 32 in 2 out of 3 major categories. So go ahead, Cowboys fans. Blame Dak, blame McCarthy, but your boy CeeDee Lamb is not even a top 30 wide receiver in 2 out of 3 categories in the NFL. You have Tom Brady on your bench, Nestor?
Yeah.
How do you have on his roster? That might be one of the reasons why you're trash, man.
I did that when I was already eliminated. There was 1 week where Tom Brady got more points than Travis Etienne. Etienne, there was a week he got negative 0.2 points.
I think my team is still a good team.
You're eliminated, June.
Oh, am I?
Yeah.
Am I eliminated?
You're eliminated too. We're all eliminated.
Oh.
Except for G Money.
I'm not doing shit then.
What was that noise?
Take a shot. Too much up. Rise up. Oh! Come on, let's go. Somebody got to win. Who wants it? How bad do you want it? Oh, you got it. Here we go. Right line. Oh, not tonight, sir.
Why is it that everyone is just unanimously assuming that Lamar Jackson is running away with the MVP race right now? Lamar Jackson, 68% completion, 2,300 yards, 20 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 500 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. I'm looking at Josh Allen, 64 completion. He's got over 2,000 yards. He's 17-2. And he's only got 260 yards rushing, but he has 3 touchdowns. I think it's a lot closer. Baltimore has a better running back. I don't think that Shakir or Coleman or Kincaid are better than Flowers and Andrews, likely. Lamar Jackson has better weapons around him. Josh Allen is keeping pace with less around him. And I think that it's like a 1A, 1B right now between those two. Well, I just walked 2 miles in this damn stadium.
Can I get a Miller Lite, man?
Okay. I like your shirt.
It's like $18. We're Road G, seats 21, 22. And LSU.
I apologize.
Old drinks. You're good. You're good. I want to know what happened to Baltimore's defense. The Bucs ain't this good.
Incomplete. 3rd and goal.
Technically, it's 101st.
Holding. Bring that shit back. You're a wizard.
$1 more would have gotten you a highlight.
They conned us. They conned us into this.
That's some bullshit.
Excuse me, sorry.
Sorry, sir.
There's a lot of elderly Ravens fans right here.
Yes, rather the Baltimore Colts marching band back when they used to have a marching band.
A lot of popcorn. Well, there goes our points.
There goes our points.
Why mad, man.
Tyler Butts.
Let's go into the exit.
Henry on the carry. Pulled down by Lavonte David. Second and 11 at the 41.
You lucked out with Brady. Three. Yeah, shit don't matter. So you bet me 4-3? Yeah, we 4-3, and we gonna win our division. Y'all will not. No, you're not even number one. Atlanta's way better than you. You crazy. Oh shit.
Aaron Rodgers. He has to be in the perfect situation for him to have worked out. They're going to have to make a decision next year. I hope they make the right decision and let the guy go.
I think they brought in Aaron Rodgers wanting to win a Super Bowl, but you got to remember who the team is. It's the Jets. When have they ever, even when it seems like they make the right move, it ends up being the wrong move? People give the Cowboys crap year in and year out when they don't win a Super Bowl, yet they won 12 games 3 years in a row. But it seems like Aaron Rodgers always gets a freaking pass. It's always somebody else's fault when it comes to Aaron Rodgers not even getting back to a Super Bowl.
The offense is fine. It's that defense that needs some help, but this defense has got to be fixed.
They can be great. I wouldn't necessarily call them frauds. I just think they're fraudulent at times.
They are exactly what we saw last season. They're not frauds. I just feel like they are the Ravens.
I guess I'm going to be the one person that comes on here and calls them frauds. But their secondary is terrible. They'll let anybody come in there and throw a party on them.
Right.
Justin Tucker, he has the yips.
Don't even get June going on that Ravens defense going up against Kellen Moore offense.
Kellen Moore had a first grade math workbook as his play calling sheet, and he ran circles around.
It's like the Bills in the 90s, man. People don't realize that the Bills and the Dolphins pretty much played every year for the AFC Championship game and played for the AFC East, and the Dolphins always lost. It was in their head, and that's what it seems to be now. It's just in Tua's head.
Tua needs great people around him for him to be great. Josh Allen makes other people around him better than what they are. When you have a quarterback like that, you're going to beat the quarterback that needs the people more often than not. Buffalo is the standard still in the AFC East right now.
The Dolphins defense cannot contain Josh Allen. Just looking back the past couple of years, this past game, he threw for 235 yards. When they played them earlier this year, only 139 yards, but that was game 2 and went down, and they just ran the ball all over the Dolphins. Playoff game, 359 yards, 320 yards, 304 yards, 400 yards. He is
and everybody can continue to laugh at me when I say that the Lions are better. No,
come on, dog. You got to let this shit go.
Hold on.
You have to let that shit go, bro.
The power rankings on ESPN and NFL Network are agreeing with me. Pro Football Focus agrees with me. And here's the thing. Yeah, the eye test. Eye test is easy because Detroit's blowing people out and Kansas City is barely winning games. Kansas City is plus 56 on point differential. They've scored 203 points, given up 147. Detroit, on the other hand, has scored 258, given up 148. They're plus 110. They're more than 50 points better in the point differential than Kansas City. And luck has everything to do with it sometimes when you win games and when you have the refs help.
Welcome back, folks. It's your favorite podcast. Your boys are back. 3 of us. G-Money is possibly joining us shortly, but you know, if he does, he doesn't. We're having a good time here amongst ourselves. We are going to start off the second half of the show like we normally do. The same way like the first half. Hey folks, it's the first week of the new year. Forgive us for being a little dysfunctional.
Starting a bit fresh.
It's a new year.
Some big changes.
Some very big changes.
Just want At least we're not so dysfunctional. We're driving cars down streets with people.
We
Yeah.
have nothing to do with that. Okay, got it.
What are you guys sipping on?
Four Roses. This is now done.
Oh, there you go.
How about you?
I have the Jack Daniels little mod here. I see G Money now. Kind of funny because my mom just messaged me saying Aries having problems, and I was like, I don't think that has anything to do with him being able to get on the show. I think he's always had problems. I was like, what's going on?
You know, I think I got a room for you and Kendall there at Surfer
don't be mean.
Surfer. So enjoy
Don't be
that.
mean.
Enjoy it. Enjoy it, my friend. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. You know.
All right. Oh, he's got the. Oh, you did steak and lobster tonight.
Yes, I did.
I saw that wine there.
Why do you think we call him G Money?
First meal of New Year's, steak and lobster. G Money.
That's why he's G Money.
Yeah, you know. You bring it in New Year, bring it in right.
Is that a Duckhorn or is that another one that I don't know about?
No, it's exactly what you know.
Okay. Love that.
I cannot eat lobster. I'm allergic to it. So I cannot have the luxury of steak and lobster. Damn. So
That's
G Money,
wild.
You enjoy all the lobster? For myself.
Well, you know, I tell you, not bad. It's not bad. You do it just right, and damn, tasty stuff. You just is that old shellfish that you're?
Not going to Clearwater. So I can. This is completely off topic. I can eat crab, but any other seafood pretty much is a no.
Also, like shrimp is a no go.
Shrimp's a no go. Yeah.
It's good,
Couple
but
shrimp.
But crab, being able to eat crab makes up for it. Not being able to eat
Crab is very good.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
Those crab
True.
cakes, they hit.
That is true.
You just wouldn't be able to have a true low country boil, Gary. Can't put
That's
no
true
crab.
too.
Can't put no shrimp in there. Don't want to
Yeah.
kill him.
Sure. I can eat around
No,
it.
no,
It's not
no.
it's not a, like if I just taste it, that's fine. I just can't actually.
You were probably very careful in New Orleans when you went.
Yeah, I was all right.
Nice.
Go there.
Okay. Completely off topic.
Very hot. All right, let's get into second half stuff here. We are going to get into the college football playoffs here, and think it is worth noting. So we're going to kind of just give our general thoughts. At least G Money and Malin are going to give their general thoughts on the pulse of the college football playoffs this year. Kind of a weird year. But with all the stuff that was unfortunately going on in New Orleans, the game that was supposed to take place today has been kind of pushed back. So the Sugar Bowl has been pushed back. So I think that is worth noting. So waiting to hear the results on that. And shouts out personally to anybody that was affected by that absolutely idiotic event that happened down in New Orleans. Yeah. With that being said, I think we should start off with the Penn State Boise State game where Penn State came out on top. We will go to Malin first, or let's go to G Money first. G Money, what do you think about the outcome of this one?
Yeah, I don't think that was a surprise to anyone. Boise State was out of their league. I kind of, while I was watching the game, I kept hoping that maybe a repeat of
G Money, we can't hear you right now.
but no. And I think, when you do a 12-team playoff, you're going to get teams that probably you think maybe shouldn't be there. But you know what? If you won your conference and you've got one loss, and that one loss is 1 point loss to Oregon, then yeah, you should be there. And then it's up to you to figure out how to win, because you are going against teams that have played other teams that are much better than you, and they know how to win. And look at who you've played aside from Oregon, and it's like, yeah, you're 12-0, 12-1, yeah, got the runner up to the Heisman, and some say he should have won the Heisman, but Penn State shut him down. So yeah, it's exactly how you would have expected it to go.
Malin, do you agree, disagree?
Yeah, I mean, you expected Penn State to win. I don't think the final score dictates kind of how close the game was, though, throughout. Like, yes, Penn State had a 14 to 10 point advantage, for like a lot of the game. But there were opportunities for Boise State to make it a game, to break it within single-digit points, multiple times in the third quarter. The fact they ended up 31-14, Penn State ripped off, I think, like a 60-something yard touchdown run with like 4 minutes left in the game to really push it over the top to where it looks more like a blowout. But Boise State stayed within striking distance for most of the game, which, kudos on them. G-Money said, like, Boise State doesn't get the type of people that a Penn State gets. The one thing that I really think is kind of sad about this is that a lot of people took issue with Gentry and saying, oh, well, he should never have even been invited to New York. Look at Penn State handling him. He only had 100 yards, yada, yada, yada. He had a hell of a season. And he would have easily broken any rushing record that would have been in college football had he not been taken out for quarters at a time. He didn't play 5 quarters this season because Boise State was involved in blowouts. The same guy that ran for 192 yards against Oregon earlier in the year. Like, he's a really good back. Penn State just had his number. Penn State has the number 7 rushing defense in college football. There's like 132 teams in college football. But I also agree that Boise State should have been there. You're 12-1. You win your conference. You should have a shot. And it was a more interesting game than what the final score says. But if Penn State had lost that game, holy shit, would people have been losing their minds if Penn State would have lost that game? That would have been like, that's the type of game that probably gets head coaches fired. If you lose that game.
Yeah, I mean, I will say I think it makes good for the college football playoffs to have Penn State in there rather than Boise State. I would imagine that is what is desired to have in this stage of the playoffs. But let's move on. We had Texas and Arizona State, which was a nail biter. Texas pulled it out 39-31. This was presumably the reason that our very own Junebug Spade was not on in the first half. Can't confirm this. That is what we are speculating. So wherever June is right now, shouts out to him. Hope his oxygen.
I hope he's well. I hope he's.
G Money, what'd you think about this one?
I thought it was a really good game. I think at times Texas thinks that once they get up, they don't have to play anymore. And Arizona State was like, yes, sir, you do, because we will beat you, and we are good. Here's to the old Pac-12. Arizona State goes in, wins the conference, the old Big 12, and gives Texas a run for its money. I mean, when you watched the game and you saw, even before the game started, when you looked at the the rosters. We're thinking, yeah, Texas should run away with this game. Texas probably win by like easily 10, probably 15. And it started to kind of look like that, and then Arizona State came back, and they made not only did they make it a game, but I don't know what they did to the Texas kicker that rattled him, but the guy that's automatic was not automatic in those 2 kicks that he needed to win the game in regulation, and he just freaking missed them. One was drastically missed, and the other one he pushed a little too much to the right. But it's, I guess, for those that wanted a 12-game college playoff, this vindicates it. It's like, this is what you're supposed to see. You know, people didn't think that they could do it, but look, they took Texas 2 overtimes. Texas needs to be concerned after, they're going to play Ohio State. And after Ohio State dismantled Oregon, they need to be fucking concerned. They need to take a look at themselves and go, geez, Ewers at times makes an inopportune pass. He tries to thread the needle, or he overthrows, or he just freaking misses the wide receiver completely. You're not going to do that with Ohio State. At least not if they play like they did against Oregon. So, kudos to Arizona State for taking it 2 overtimes. Their running back, I've got it. For the life of me, I don't remember his name, but I remember seeing him in the 4th quarter, puking his guts out. But that man gave, when we talk about giving everything to the game, he gave everything to that game. I mean, he was their leading rusher. He threw for a touchdown. He caught a touchdown. He rushed for a touchdown. I mean, Jesus Christ, I think at one point I saw him selling hot dogs in the stand.
God damn.
You're not wrong though, but this game was one of those. This is the game the college football playoff needed. It needed one of these nail biter games to where the underdog has a chance to win. And you know what? At one point, Texas was up by 16, and I think everybody thought, okay, Texas is going to run away with this. And then Scatterboo, the running back, throws a 42-yard touchdown pass. You're like, well, maybe there's a chance. And then Ewers throws an interception. And then Scatterboo catches like a 38-yard catch. And then a face mask. And then they score a touchdown. And they get another 2-point conversion. I mean, enough can't be said about the way... This is one of those games where you end up feeling better or thinking more highly of the team that lost than the team that won. Because Arizona State came so close to winning when they shouldn't have. And Texas should have won by a lot more. That kicker in the 4th quarter. My God. I mean, yeah, I could understand you missing a 50-yarder. But what, a 38-yarder? It was 42 for 46 for his career in under 40 yards, and he misses that kick. Going back to Scatterboo, though, man. He threw 1 touchdown pass for 42 yards for a touchdown. He had one catch, he had 8 catches for 99 yards, and then he ran the ball 30 times for 143 yards and 2 touchdowns. Just at one point in the 3rd quarter, he was puking his guts out, needing an IV of fluids because he was just so spent. And the fact that they actually showed that on TV of him puking, that's a little bit disgusting. At the end of the day, I will say this, Gary. At the end of the day, I was as unimpressed as I was with Ewers throughout the entirety of the game. 4th and 13. You're down to Arizona State in the first overtime. 4th and 13. You're at like the 27-yard line, and you throw a 27-yard strike for a touchdown. And then you start the next overtime, and your very first play is a 25-yard touchdown pass. I felt that Ewers kind of redeemed himself a little bit there. Like that was clutch by that Texas offense in overtime. That I still can't get over the fact that it was 4th and 13, and not only did they not only get the first down, but they actually scored the touchdown and pushed it to a second overtime. And then like I almost missed the touchdown that gave them 39 points because like first play from scrimmage, bam, touchdown. Like how many touchdowns can you score within like a 1 minute period? You know what I mean? It was a really good football game. I really enjoyed it. I wish Arizona State had won, just so that the announcers can just ball hug Scatterboo more. I mean, the announcers during that game were the only things annoying. I mean, you would have thought that it was like 11 Scatterboos on each side of the ball the entire time. One person willing his team to victory like Rudy. Like, Jesus Christ. But yeah, it was a really good game, though.
Let me ask you guys this. Do you think that Quinn Ewers' draft capital goes... Do you think he'll be more decided to declare for the draft depending on how Texas does in the playoffs here? Or do you think he's going either way?
I think he's already decided to come back to college football.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think at best he's a 3rd, 4th, or 5th round pick. He has not been the same since I think it was an elbow injury he had early in the year. I think it was the elbow. He hasn't been the same since that injury. And there's some teams, like there's reported offers that Oregon is offering him $4 million to go play at Oregon next year, which is about as much as you make as a first-round draft pick quarterback. So I think he's going to come back to college because he knows that he needs another year to prove it if he's going to be a higher draft pick. And yeah, but Texas is going to move on after this. Texas is going to go to Manning.
Yeah, they're definitely going to Manning. And I agree with Malin that I think Ewers has already made his decision. He's going to come back. He'll enter the portal. He'll go to another named institution, whether it's Oregon, Miami, Florida, maybe Florida State.
What about Georgia? What about Georgia?
Maybe Georgia. Maybe Georgia.
Draft.
I mean, but yeah, if indeed the rumors of him getting $4 million, though it may be more than that, though he needs to get that soon because if college football, or at least the D1 schools, agree on that revenue sharing, so each team will get $20 million, that's the cap. That's all they can spend on players, and you can't have outside NIL deal. So that's why you see so much money fettered free agency in the NFL, and you don't have a salary cap. So you basically can offer anybody anything, and it's not going to count against you if indeed the agreement goes through. And starting August, I think, of 2025, teams will share between at least the division, the top 4 conferences will share about it's between 13.5 and 20 million dollars on a high school quarterback. You're going to be limited. So we'll see what happens with that. But I don't see Ewers going pro. Why? If someone offers me $4 or $5 million, and I know that I'm going to be a 3rd, 4th, 5th round pick, and I'm going to make a lot less than that, I'll sign like a 3-4 year deal for like $4.5 million. Why? Go back to college, go to a good school, got a great football program, and make your mark and increase your draft. But I don't see right now. what he did today, what he does against Ohio State isn't going to change a lot of scouts, NFL scouts, as to what they've seen from him. They've got him pegged as a certain, in a certain round, and unless someone gets stupid crazy, but you can't count on that. You can't enter the draft thinking that, one team is going to get stupid crazy and draft you in the first round when everybody you're talking to, and now everybody has agents. So you don't even have, it's not even like, well, if I talk to an agent or if I sign with an agent, my college career is done. No, they're all signing with agents in high school, right out of high school. So that's not going to affect him. So he knows right now what his draft prospects are, where teams have basically slated him. So if you're looking at making, let's say, $450 to $4 million for 1 year, shit, I think all of us would stay in school one more year and make that $4 million, and then go to the pros. And if we're playing backup for 3 or 4 years, making $300,000-$400,000, okay, but at least I banked that $4 million.
Well, and he's already graduated. So the next year when he plays, he doesn't have to go to class. He just gets to play college football. It's crazy. Oh, I love it.
Yeah. Fuck Oregon. Yeah. Yeah. There's a hated rivalry up here with Oregon. So
Fuck them Quackers.
yeah. The Ducks got baked. Yeah. It was obvious that Ohio State had decided that they were going to take a look at the film and how they lost the last game and how Oregon scored on them, and that was going to happen again. There was no fucking way that was going to happen again. And kudos to them. They started. They jumped out to a lead and they didn't give it up. And Oregon had no answers, none whatsoever. In fact, they look bad out there. They didn't look that bad last year when they played us twice and lost. But yeah, Ohio State, not going to happen again, my friends. We're not going to lose a second time. And I think Oregon just thought that, well, we beat you by 1, but you know what? We're a better team. We're a much better team. We can beat you again. And no, you could not. That's what $20 million will buy. Finally paid off.
I mean, Oregon spent like 19.6. It's pretty good.
Still.
It's a pretty good roster. The one thing I'll say is that I thoroughly enjoyed that game. I also think that Ohio State, oddly enough, losing to Michigan 13-0, probably the best thing that could happen to that team. Because it really made them look at themselves in the mirror. Who are we? Like, what are we doing? How did we lose to Michigan 4 years in a row? All this bullshit. And I think it also made teams like Oregon and Tennessee thinking like, yeah, Ohio State's not that great of a football team. Oregon's like, we already beat you. We'll beat you again. We beat the brakes off of Michigan. You lost 13-10. I think Tennessee took them for granted. I think Oregon took them for granted a little bit. They were airing it out like crazy. They were up 31-0 with 10:22 left in the second quarter, and the quarterback already had like 250 yards passing. I mean, they were taking them deep. They didn't start using a run game till the second half just to get the game over with. Like, they were doing the mercy rule. They were the ones saying uncle for Oregon because Oregon couldn't say it. They're like, we got you. We'll get you out of here. Don't worry about it. And also, the funniest thing that I always think of is that Dan Lanning, the head coach of Oregon, he has this saying, Oregon football is rooted in substance. I've yet to see what that substance is. I'd like to know what it is. Because they have 7,000 uniform combinations. And they've never won a national championship. And they went undefeated to go to the playoff, to be the number 1 seed, and not even win a playoff game. So I don't know what that substance is, but it's probably shit. It is probably just shit. It's probably what it's rooted in. Because that big-ass O stands for 0 with the amount of natties that they have, because they got no natties. No natties, no national championships. Ever in their program history. It doesn't matter how much money Phil Knight has. They still haven't won any fucking thing. So they can kick rocks. And if I could find a duck right now, I'd probably shoot it. I could find a duck.
Yeah, you gotta get dinner. Dinner on your hands.
Yeah. Great game. Great game.
I guess last question before we move on out of this: are you guys like pretty happy with how the playoff is shaping up, or not?
Yeah, I mean, it's shaped up the way I thought it would.
Yeah, exactly.
You'd have some fallout.
I mean, what are we going to have? Ohio State, Texas. We'll see what happens with the Georgia Notre Dame game. I mean, teams you thought were going to be there, though, you could have flipped a coin with Ohio State, Oregon until they played. It plays out how you think it will, basically. You don't have any upsets. It's not like with the BCS where you had 4 teams. You had TCU in there, and then, they get the doors blown off them, and you're like, oh, yeah, you should never have been there in the first place. At least with 12 teams, even with Indiana, with Boise State, with the team out of the ACC, not Clemson, but it gives the fans something, and you get the opportunity to hope that your team can go further and has a shot to win the national championship. In most cases, they don't. But at least, you look at it and you go, man, we got a shot. We made it. We got a shot. So, yeah, I mean, it adds a little excitement. It gives us more football to watch. It's like, but it did basically unfold how we thought it was going to unfold, with the top teams advancing.
I think it's great in the sense that teams that normally would never have gotten a shot get a shot, and Arizona State almost beating Texas kind of shows that, like, a team could end up with like a Cinderella thing, but instead of just having like 4 teams, like, we came in to today with Notre Dame and Georgia, Oregon and Ohio State and Texas, but like, we had so many more teams that we could think of besides just 4 teams that people pick. Because in most part, when you're really picking the top 4, there's usually another 3 teams in there that you could throw into it. and they never got a shot. And now those 3 other teams have a realistic shot of doing it. So I like it. They'll probably move to 16, which I don't think is necessary, but they'll do it. It'll be fun. More money for colleges. Whatever. Not going to be my Huskies winning the national championship, so I don't really give a shit. But Oregon's out, so I'm really happy about it. Fuck that team.
There you go.
Fuck that team.
Let's move to the last segment of this week. Ride or Die in 5. This is the last week of the NFL regular season. Ride or Die in 5, so I think that is worth noting. Man, this season flew by. The fact that we're here now is quite wild to me. But to recap on where everybody is at, Malin, myself, and Nestor all went 3-2 last week. With Nestor going G Money going 4-1. Those were the results of last week. To give everybody a status update on where we're at through the month of December, not overall, but just through this NFL season to December. G Money is 39-32. He is +7. I am 38-35 +3. Nestor is 36-37. He's just a game under 500. Malin is 35-38. He is 3 games under 500.
Nice one. Woo. Surprised it's not worse. God.
So that is where everybody's at. Overall, I am +61. Malin's +56. G Money's +36. Nestor is +25, not 2,500. That is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, I still got 2,500. I'm like, God damn.
Oh, damn it.
That means buying drinks for everyone.
Hey.
See, if you went with me this season, you only lost part of your 401k. That's pretty good.
Yeah, you just a little bit of your 401k.
Better than what most people do. I went with G Money. You made some good money.
Hey, man, you got 2 houses right now.
I mean, you got your wife and your side chick.
Yeah, there you go. Good year. Let's start off with Saturday night. We've got the Bengals at the Steelers. Steelers are 1.5 point favorites. G Money, let's start with you.
So, Pittsburgh will know before the start of the game if they've got a shot at the division or not. Cincinnati definitely needs this game to even have a shot at the playoffs. But I like Pittsburgh's defense, and they're getting Joey Porter Jr. back. And granted, they've lost 3 games in a row, but they were all to playoff teams that had good defenses. Cincinnati does not have a good defense. I mean, if you could look at anything with Cincinnati, you can say, man, come this next season, they need to improve that defense because the offense is okay. So I don't know who's going to be running the ball this week, but I'm going to take Pittsburgh. I just think even if Pittsburgh knows that they can't win the division, I just think that their defense and the fact that Cincinnati's defense sucks, they'll be able to move the ball, and they'll keep it out of Joe Burrow's hands.
I'm going to go next year. I'm going to agree with G Money. G Money is in first place throughout the month of December for a reason. And listen, the Bengals need a lot to go right, and the Steelers, I would like to think they want to enter the playoffs on a high note and not kind of sliding as they have been recently. So I'm going to take the Steelers at home here to cover the spread. I hate this. I really don't want to make this pick. but I feel like this is the sensible one to make right now. So I'm going to stick with the Steelers to cover the points at home. It's only a 1.5, so like, come on, just win the damn game, Maitland.
I'm taking Cincy on this one. What is it, like 8 games in a row that Joe Burrow's thrown for 250 yards and a couple touchdowns? He's played some pretty good teams himself. I get that Mike Tomlin's saying they want to get the bad taste out of their mouth of losing 3 in a row. Maybe better play better football, and you won't lose 3 in a row. They haven't been playing good football. Russell Wilson has not been playing good football the last 3 weeks. He's getting sacked a lot. He's making bad decisions. Najee Harris, where the fuck are you? I don't know what happened to the moment we started talking about Pittsburgh being this, could they be a title contender? They said, hold my beer, let us prove you wrong. And I'm still going to say, Jalen, you were carrying that torch longer than any of us. But yeah, I'm going to go with Cincy because it doesn't matter what they got to play for. I think that even when the Bengals team as a whole hasn't been playing great, Joe Burrow's been playing great. I have no reason to think he's not going to play great. But the rest of the team's been playing better. I like their chances in this game. Let it go into Sunday and let the other teams choose their fate for them. I like Cincy.
All right, Nestor.
I like Cincy. I just feel like they have something to play for, and it's going to end in complete heartbreak for them because they're going to win. And either it's very likely that the Broncos will win, or my Dolphins will take care of Aaron Rodgers. I think they win, but unfortunately for the NFL, I'm a Dolphins fan, but I'm a very unbiased fan. I think it's not going to end well for the NFL. Oh, come on, guys. Come on. I think it's not going to end well for the NFL because we would have all loved to see the Bengals upset the Chiefs. But it's not going to happen, guys. I'm sorry. Give me Cincy.
0-1 for me. Let's move on to week 2. Looking good for us, Nestor.
Got faith, Joe Shiesty. Sunday, 1 o'clock, right here in good old Tampa Bay, we've got our hometown boys hosting the Saints. The spread is 13.5 points. One team just trying to hold on to the lead in the NFC South. The other team is cooked. You got nothing to play for right now. But spread being at 13.5 points, I'm going to go first on this one. Listen, whether it's Spencer Rattler, I don't give a damn who's playing quarterback. 13.5 points is a pretty big spread. It is a divisional game. Even if the Saints aren't necessarily playing anything for their sake, I'm still going to take the Saints to come within 13.5. That's, I don't know, that's just a lot of points for a divisional game. If this was a different team, not within the NFC South, then I would probably not take that team in the points, but I can't see the Bucks covering basically 2 touchdowns against a team that knows them pretty well. So give me the Saints in the 13.5 points, mainly.
Hold on. Looking something up. You should keep talking.
Is Spencer
Or you don't
Rattler,
have-
he's still starting? Like that is the...
He is indeed still starting.
So, here's what I'm going to say. I'm taking the 13.5, Jalen. And here's why. First of all, I think it's asinine that I've seen some Buccaneers fans even using the tragic events from New Orleans saying our Bucks need to play harder because the Saints are going to play harder because of what happened in New Orleans. So this game is much more meaningful to the Saints now. It's not even being played in New Orleans. Shut up. So first of all, the Bucks, even though your team's going to win and you're probably going to go to the playoffs, your fan base is still stupid. So, last time they played New Orleans, Jalen, I thought I was right about this. They beat them 51-27 in New Orleans. They just beat the brakes off Carolina 48-14, and I think the Saints and Carolina are about the same type of team. Now they're playing for their playoff lives and winning a division, and they want to put the stamp down. And Baker Mayfield is fucking crazy. And so even without Godwin, they've been putting up points. They have scored over 26 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 24 points 6 weeks in a row. They've put over 40 points twice in the last 3 weeks. One against the Chargers, one against Carolina. I don't know how they lost to Dallas. That was fucking weird. But yeah, I think they're going to take care of business against New Orleans. The 13.5. Give it to me. Baker ball. Let's go buy some tickets to a playoff game. Let's go watch Sam Darnold and Justin Jefferson against the Bucs a couple weeks from now. Make it happen.
Oh, it's gonna be fun.
Go ahead, Nestor.
Yeah. I don't know about this, but no, I'll be sensible about this. I'll take Dolphins. Jesus Christ, what is wrong with me?
It's just instinct.
Oh my god. This is because I know what's gonna happen in about a week. Give me the Saints. I just don't think Tampa's gonna cover that amount of points. It's just too much, but they'll win comfortable, and it'll be maybe by around a touchdown, and they shouldn't be by a touchdown, but that's what it'll be. But they'll win comfortably. So give me the Saints.
I love it. The cheap money.
Not a single goddamn thing you just made sense, Nestor.
The Bucs will win comfortably, but they're gonna win by a touchdown. Kind of like how the Vikings beat the Packers.
What are we?
He's saying that the game will be more convincing than the scoreboard.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Go like cheap money.
Well, you know, the Saints have averaged 11.5 points the last 5 games. Kamara may not be starting, may not be playing. We already know that Spencer Rattler's starting at quarterback.
Spencer.
What the fuck is he? What the fuck is he throwing to? No clue whatsoever. And though, like Malin and maybe some other people, I don't really care for the Bucs fans. As Elon Musk would say, they're stupid, they're retarded, they need to go fuck themselves in the face.
Damn right.
But I'm a gambling man, and I'll lay that 13.5, and I'll take the Bucs because Baker Mayfield is going to go off on those guys, and yeah, it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be pretty at all.
You don't like it anymore, do you, Jalen?
No, I don't like.
You don't like it anymore, do you?
That Nestor and I are the only people picking against our hometown boys here. So
the moment that I said the Bucs Saints from the last time they played, I saw the look on your face, Jalen. And you're like, oh.
Come on, Spencer. Just come on, man. Just keep it respectable. That's all we're asking. Let's move on to later in the day. It's Sunday. We've got the Chiefs going to the Broncos. Chiefs bench and their refs. Did the refs make the trip at this point? Because it doesn't matter. Anyway.
No, they're staying at home too.
It's probably cold.
They're resting up for the playoffs.
This is the only time you're ever going to see Denver be a 10-point favorite to Kansas City while Mahomes is the quarterback. Because he's not playing.
Nestor, we're going to start with you. 10 points to the Broncos. Who are you taking here?
10 points to the Broncos? I thought it was to the
I don't like... Well, because Mahomes and Kelsey, Chris Jones, so many people are sitting.
Such a clusterfuck.
Oh, I'm sorry. It is 10 points to the Chiefs.
Jesus.
the Broncos got to cover the 10 points.
Again, I would
Wait.
go.
Wait. I thought the Broncos were plus 10.
Are the Broncos plus 10?
No, they're minus 10. The Chiefs are plus 10.
That's insane.
Oh, shit.
No, I
Yeah,
gotta
that's
go with
what I
Kansas
said
City on
about
this.
three.
I gotta go with Kansas City on this. There's no way for some reason it'll be closer than that. Obviously, if those guys are playing, I'll give it to the Broncos, but by 10 is a bit of a stretch for me. So,
yeah, Broncos
they're not gonna try and make it, like have some disrespect happen. So, give me KC plus 10.
Okay. G Money.
Well, when I initially thought it was the Broncos plus 10, that was a no-brainer, right? Because Kansas City is resting all their starters, and they're playing in Denver. Now it makes me think a little bit, but if Kansas City's going to rest all their starters, and Denver needs to win this game to go to the playoffs, and Sean Payton doesn't fucking care how many points he scores, but if he has the opportunity to run the score up, he's going to run the score up and say, yeah, you needed to play better then if you didn't like it. So I'm gonna still take Denver minus the 10.
Unfortunately, I'm going to agree with G Money here. Denver at home minus 10. I mean, it just comes down to if the Broncos are playing for something, the Chiefs are not, then I would like to think that the Broncos starters are 10 points better than the Chiefs second string. So that's all it comes down to for me. Malin.
I'm taking Denver. Oh, when Carson Wentz throws a garbage time fucking touchdown with 3 minutes left in the game and makes it a 4-point game, I'm going to be fucking pissed. But I'm taking Denver with a minus 10 because there's no reason why it shouldn't be other than Carson Wentz doing some dumbass shit. Like, just go to a fucking Amish colony and churn butter. Like, stop making our lives difficult. And but no, he's not. He's gonna do shit like this. So yeah, Carson Wentz. He's gonna probably make it a 4-point game.
Why not?
Hopefully Denver knocks him out. And Denver wins by 10. I'm taking Denver because they're just resting too many people, man. It's not just Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Resting too many people. They're going to be rotating their offensive line out to give people spells off to where there's going to be too many people sitting out, too many people on offense, too many people on defense. You got to think that Denver wants it more because their playoff lives are on the line. So yeah.
Next game, we've got the Dolphins and the Jets at 4:30 on Sunday. Dolphins, hey, with the win, they could be right into the playoffs.
Give me minus 7.
Well, Denver has to lose first.
Give me minus 7.
They could be right into
minus
the
10.
So they need some favorable things to happen here. Just look up. At least we all know that Nestor's on brand here. He's staying on brand.
I think
that's Miami's only -1.
We are going to retire Aaron Rodgers for real.
Someone's got to.
We're gonna do something for the NFL for all of us.
All of us. They're going to make the league better.
Nestor just went first on this last one. Malin, have you gone first yet?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think you have.
First, you went right to Nestor. So yeah, I'm going to take Miami in this one. I did again. Aaron Rodgers is probably going to ask out of the game in the second quarter this time. Not even wait. It's just not even any reason for him to play, man. And you saw Tyrod Taylor march him down for 2 touchdowns right after Aaron Rodgers exited the game. Like, he looks like he should be on a Brawny paper towels commercial more than he should be playing quarterback for any NFL team right now. It's just weird, man. Like, he just looks like a hippie lumberjack that has other people swing on the axe. That's just what he looks like. Miami, they still got a shot. I don't know. They're playing the same time as Kansas City and Denver, so they don't know if Denver is going to lock it up or not.
Yeah.
Miami's going to have a lot to play for in that game. I love the way the NFL does that with the timing, to where they're all playing at the same time, where you could be locking up divisions or playoff spots. I love the way they do that. The absolute best they can. I love how they do that. And so Miami and Denver are going to be playing for a playoff spot at the exact same time. So Miami's going to go full bore. Aaron Rodgers is going to opt out. And the Jets are going to have nothing to show for it this year except a cool uniform that they had back in the 80s that I thought was cool again. So, there you go.
Go ahead, G-Money.
So, when I first looked at this and I was thinking, maybe Miami. Then I realized that they're not starting Tua. They're starting Snoop. And no, not Snoop Dogg, because I thought that too. I thought, Snoop's everywhere. He's everywhere. No, Snoop Hundley. Snoop Hundley is starting at quarterback for the Dolphins. And
wait, Tua's not playing?
No, he's not playing.
He didn't play the last game either.
Did you read this shit? And let's not forget that Miami has lost 12 games in a row where the temperature is 40 or below, and it's going to be 35 degrees at kickoff. 35 degrees. Yeah, cold weather. Snoop Dogg starting at quarterback. He's going to be passing.
I'm still taking Miami.
He's going to be that joint in the huddle and everything,
We did this in Cleveland.
This could be good. They're going to get baked. And I remember what Sauce Gardner said after last week's game, that felt like the team had given up. And I'm like, damn, man. So are they going to try and prove him wrong?
He could do some cardio with Tyreek Hill.
Well, yeah, it's going to be cold. Tyreek Hill's going to be bundled up, sitting on a heater going, when are we heading back to Miami? And one of my baby mamas basically just texted me, I've got 12 of them now. I'm for some crazy ass reason, I'm going to take the Jets plus the 1 point. And until Miami can actually win in cold weather and show me, and not from like the 1970s, but when they can at least they haven't done it in the last like 10 years, so when they can win in temperatures below 40 degrees, then I'll be a Miami believer in them playing and winning in the cold weather. But no, the Jets are a shit team. You've got Snoop Dogg starting a quarterback for Miami. Nah, bro. Yeah, give me the Jets.
You guys want to know how much the Jets have quit this season? Sauce Gardner was on X talking about how great of a game Higgins had with his 3 touchdowns, and a Jets fan commented, "Could recruit him to the Jets." And he said, "I absolutely will not, capital letters, be doing that." When it can help you, but you're sending them to a cesspool with you, that means he wants out.
But they've got wide receivers. I mean, they've got Devontae Adams. They've got Garrett Wilson. They don't need wide receivers.
He said absolutely will not, because he doesn't want anybody else to be subjected to what he's been subjected to in New York so far.
That's
It's
why
a
everybody
shit.
wants out of New York, whether it's the Giants or the Jets. They want out. That's why you need. If
Want
you're going to
out.
recruit anything
want
in New York, it's like new ownership. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's crazy, but yeah, oh man, that's a crazy take, Gary. Hey, taking the Jets. I mean, this
yeah,
might be the
you
reason
know,
why you don't go 5-0 very often when you should.
maybe,
But
and
you
it
might
could
go
well be the first time that Miami wins in sub
yeah,
40-degree weather too.
and they
I
might
was
only win
thinking about
by
that.
1 point. They might only win by 1 point. You're making me nervous with your pick. I don't like it. I don't like when you make me nervous.
Huh? I made you nervous a lot last week too. I went 4-1.
True, you did. Glad I scratched out 3.
I'm going to take the Dolphins to cover the points here. Listen, whether it is Snoop Huntley, Tyler Huntley, it doesn't matter to me, man. The Jets are bad. That's a bad football team. Those players are checking out. Sauce is out. Garrett Wilson is out. They know they have nothing to play for. Dolphins do. Give me the Dolphins to cover here. I don't think Snoop's got to do too much in order to win this game. Nestor.
The Jets have none. They have nothing. Give me the Dolphins. I think we did pretty well against the Browns, considering that Tua was out. So I guess
It was like 57 degrees too. If it had been like 30, it might have been no different.
Listen, 20 degrees. No, I think we'll get the job done. It's not. I don't know. I feel like it's not Buffalo. It's not Arrowhead.
Yeah.
And there's something that comes with that territory for them. But we're going up to a place where we've won before. We understand winning there. Going against a bad organization. And we can do it against the Browns. We can do it against the Jets. So,
yeah. I'm watching an ASPCA commercial right now with dogs in the snow shivering. That's the Dolphins. Oh, please come and get me, save me. I don't know what the hell this is.
That's...
But I do think Tyreek Hill and if Sauce plays, they're just going to be doing cardio the whole night.
Yeah.
Running around for no reason.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. For no targets. All right. Last game, we got the Sunday night game.
Oh, that's good.
Big game between the Vikings and the Lions. Lions are 3-point favorites at home. G Money, we're going to start with you here.
I'm going to take Minnesota plus the 3. I just have a feeling that Dan Campbell, sometime in the fourth quarter, they're going to be down by 4 points. It's going to be 4th and like 7 on his own like 40, 45, and he's going to go for it when he should punt. And it's going to go badly for him. He tends to, he's that gambler that sits at the blackjack table and you deal him 18 and he's like, you know what? Hit it, bitch. Hit the 18. It's like, dude, you know it's got to be a 3 or less. I don't fucking care. Hit it. And then, every once in a while he actually hits the 3 and makes 21, but most of the time he'll hit like a 7 or a 10 and it's busted. And it's like, yeah, you busted, dude. What the fuck are you doing? And not only did you bust, but you fucked it up for the rest of us because that would have been the dealer's card. The Vikings are playing well. I like their defense. Detroit's defense is suspect. It really is. If they've got a weakness going into the playoffs, it is their defense. And you got to wonder offensively, if they can shut down, they get a pass rush, and if they can shut down Gibbs, I don't think I just don't. No. I'm taking the Vikings. I'm taking them plus the 3.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you, G Money. This one is I just can't see this game not being close, like without coming down to a field goal. Dan Campbell is going to do whatever he can to keep his Lions out in front, which inevitably will lead to some questionable decision making, which will keep the Vikings right in the game. Yeah, I who wins the game, flip a coin, but I think it'll be within a field goal regardless. So give me the Vikings on the road here. Malin.
Taking the Lions. I'm gonna ride with them. I've been saying it for a long time. I think their ability to put up point. Hell, if my Seahawks can put up 24 points, I think it was. That's a lot. Or against the Vikings, Lions can do a hell of a lot more. I know they got injuries, but that offense is still humming. And I don't know. I'm just a believer in the Lions. Dan Campbell might do something crazy at the end of a game, but I'm just a believer in the Lions. I think the Lions are going to be the number 1 seed in NFC.
All right, Nestor.
Yeah, this is. I think this is the first game me and Jim Mooney agree on. Just insane. Because next week I'm either going to be that number is going to change a lot, or for the season, or I like the Vikings. I like the coaching. I like the defense, and Detroit is hurt on defense. Yeah. So, what's his name? O'Connell, Kevin O'Connell. Mm-hmm. This man has done good. Pretty good coaching, and then the defensive coordinator, what they're, cooking is pretty damn good. And I've been expecting them to completely fall apart, and it has not happened. And I'm looking directly at the coaching staff. So give me the Vikings.
All right. So let me recap here real quick before we get up out of here. This is a doozy this week. So G Money and myself are taking the Steelers to cover 1.5. Nestor and Malin are taking the Bengals.
You're gonna be rooting for the
Bengals. Sunday, Nestor and I are taking the Saints plus 13.5 points. Oh Malin and G Money taking the Bucks at home to cover 13.5. Also Sunday for 25, we've got Nestor taking the Chiefs plus 10. The rest of us taking the Broncos minus 10. We've got the Dolphins and the Jets. G Money taking the Jets plus 1, and then the rest of us taking the Dolphins minus 1 on the road. Last but not least, Malin's the only person taking the Lions to cover at home. The rest of us are taking the Vikings. So as long as all that sounds accurate, that will be that.
Good.
All right. Well, we're going to have a very interesting final week in the NFL here, especially as it pertains to this show in particular. Anything else you guys want to mention before we wrap this up?
Happy New Year's, guys.
Indeed.
Yes. Folks, we will see you all next week to kick off our playoffs. We'll have playoff Ride or Die 5 next week, so thank you all for listening, watching, whatever you may be doing. We will see you all next week. Have a good one, and peace out.
Peace.